Humanity is under attack by magical gates full of nightmare creatures. Naturally, humans respond in the most sensible way possible. They send unpaid interns called hunters to deal with it. These hunters are ranked from S rank all the way down to E rank, where our main protagonist spawns in like a wet tissue with anxiety issues. His name? Jinwoo, a guy so weak that even his mom's hospital bills could beat him in a fight. The narrator whispers, "This dude is the reason the term party liability was invented. Every time he enters a gate, it's basically suicide with extra steps. Other hunters look at him like he's a clearance bin sword from a dollar store. Even monsters see him and go, 'Bro, we don't harm minors.' But here's the spicy question for you, dear viewers. Would you rather be the weakest hunter or the strongest background character? Choose wisely. One day, Jinwoo joins a raid team filled with the usual NPC stereotypes. The "I trained one time, so now I'm tough" guy. The weirdly loud comic relief guy. And of course, the sensei who acts like he's a retired ninja but actually can't pay rent. They enter what should have been a normal baby-level dungeon, but instantly realize this place is more rigged than a gaming gacha system. Stone statues everywhere. Giant ones, small ones, all of them giving that "I will end your bloodline" glare. Then, the doors slam shut. A giant stone god wakes up and basically says, "Time for a skill issue evaluation. Rule 1, bow or die. Rule 2, praise or die. Rule 3, make a move I don't like, and definitely die." Guess what the party chooses? Yup, dying. Dying spectacularly. Limbs flying, screams echoing, everyone running like preschoolers from a bee. Hunter teamwork? Never heard of it. Strategy? Ha, not today. And Jinwoo? He's watching his squad mates crumble like discount cookies, wondering why fate hates him specifically. At this moment, pause and think. If a 10-foot murder statue told you to bow, would you do it? Or would your pride kill you faster? The entire party is gone. Jinwoo is the last man standing, armed with nothing but childhood, trauma, and a rusty dagger that might as well be a butter knife. He sees the final rule on the stone tablet. Only those who prove their worth shall live. Worth? Haha. They're talking to a man with the self-esteem of a wet sock. Jinwoo faces the statue king, and in classic protagonist fashion, he stands up like a main character for the first time in his life, and then immediately gets sliced, like a tomato, like a clearance sale fruit. Man becomes a meat-based confetti cannon. As he's bleeding out, he thinks about his mom in the hospital, his baby sister studying alone, and how he's about to die in a dungeon with people who didn't even remember his name. This is the moment where the music goes quiet. The camera zooms in, and the narrator says something dramatic like, "This is the part where everything changes." Suddenly, a UI screen pops up, a floating window, a system message. "Congratulations, you have been chosen as a player. Would you like to live?" Jinwoo is like, "Oh hell yes, revive me, daddy system." He accepts. And boom! Second life unlocked. New stats, new skills, new trauma. But before we continue, answer me this. If a mystical system offered you a second life, would you trust it? Be honest, the comments are watching. Jinwoo wakes up outside the dungeon, alive and surprisingly not in 72 pieces. The system assigns him daily quests. These quests, garbage. Pure garbage. Push-ups, running, sit-ups. Literally the chore list your gym teacher gives you when they've given up on life. But the punishment for skipping the quests is, and I quote, "a penalty zone full of nightmarish wolves that make rabies look friendly." Jinwoo learns real quick that working out is better than being dog food. So he trains, and transforms from sad beanpole to weapons of mass distraction within a few months. His muscles get muscles. Even gym bros would be like, "Bro, what creatine brand is this?" His transformation becomes so dramatic that background characters start thirsting the moment he walks past. Yeah, the same people who once treated him like a doormat now look at him like a limited edition, collectible figure. Insert your daily dose of irony. Time for our newly improved man to re-enter a gate. Inside, a giant spider monster attacks the group. Everyone else panics, screams, falls over their own shoes. Real anime side character energy. But Jinwoo? This man calmly walks up to the giant arachnid like he's ordering boba tea. With a singular slash, shwick. The spider goes from predator to puddle. Other hunters stare at him like he just unlocked DLC that wasn't meant for free users. And Jinwoo ends the fight with the most savage line possible. Guess you should have stayed in your web. Roll credits. Or don't. We're far from done. But before the next scene, who would win? A giant monster spider, or a traumatized man with nothing left to lose? Comment below. Jinwoo enters more gates, levels up, unlocks new abilities. He gets faster, deadlier, smarter, and somehow even hotter. Seriously, at this point he's one skill away from stealing everyone's girlfriend. But the moment everything turns from cool glow-up arc into, oh god, this is actually terrifying, is when he unlocks the necromancy skill. Yes, he can now turn the monsters he kills into obedient shadow minions. The first one he resurrects is a giant knight who once tried to split him like firewood. Now, he bows. Like a good boy. Like a well-trained murder puppy. Jinwoo looks at his new minion and basically says, "Congrats, you work for me now." Thus begins the rise of the Shadow Army. One monster at a time. One corpse at a time. One nightmare at a time. And the best part? His army doesn't talk, doesn't complain, doesn't unionize. Perfection. In the next big dungeon, Jinwoo faces a horde of beasts. Normal hunters would retreat, call backup, cry, or all three. But Jinwoo, he cracks his knuckles, summons his new Shadow Knight, and goes, "Let's turn this raid into a recruitment event." The monsters rush him, but for every monster he kills, another shadow rises. The battlefield becomes a factory of violence, bones crushing, black smoke swirling. Shadow soldiers growing in numbers like a pyramid scheme gone horribly right. The other hunters stare at Jinwoo in horror, thinking, wait, is he even human anymore? Spoiler, not really. Jinwoo ends the battle standing on a hill of bodies, cloak blowing in the wind like a dramatic anime cover art, and delivers another savage one-liner. Next time, bring someone worth resurrecting. Boom, scene over. But wait, tell me this. If you could command a shadow army, whose shadow would you resurrect first? Fictional characters allowed. Your ex is also allowed. At this point, Jinwoo's growth is so absurd. That world governments start treating him like a walking natural disaster. Guild leaders whisper behind closed doors. Hunters stalk him like paparazzi. Nations wonder whether they should recruit him or bomb him. Meanwhile, Jinwoo just wants to take care of his mom and eat ramen in peace. But fate says, nope. You're the main character now. Suffer. He enters a gate full of elite mage beasts. They attack him non-stop. Firing beams, bullets, spells. Basically every magic school power system that was clearly rigged. But Jinwoo dodges everything, with the elegance of a man who has been traumatized into athletic excellence. One spell nearly hits a bystander. Jinwoo blocks it effortlessly. People gasp. Girls swoon. Guys consider switching careers. And Jinwoo's like, I swear I didn't sign up for fan club duties. Then comes the dungeon that changes everything. Inside is a giant demon commander, a monster so strong it could probably solo half the planet. Jinwoo charges in alone. The commander mocks him. Foolish human. Do you really think you can? Slash right through the chest. Jinwoo doesn't even let him monologue. How rude, how refreshing. The commander collapses. Jinwoo resurrects him as a shadow. And just like that, the Shadow Army gains a general, a commander, a beast of war. At this moment, Jinwoo officially becomes broken. Like, please nerf this character broken. Like admin banned in online games broken. Even the system seems confused. As if it's thinking, bro, I didn't expect you to go this far. With new power in hand, Jinwoo uses rare magical items to cure his mother's long-term coma. Yes, the woman who raised him alone, who suffered because of his powerless past, finally wakes up. The emotional scene is so pure. Even the narrator tries to hide the tears. But don't get comfortable, because this is anime, and anime hates happiness. The more Jinwoo grows, the more mysterious cosmic beings start whispering about him. They call him the vessel, the enemy, the variable. They argue in realms we cannot see, arguing whether Jinwoo should be destroyed, contained, or horrifyingly crowned. Hint, this is where the plot goes from cool action anime to biblical horror with muscles. Jinwoo has no idea yet, but every time he levels up, the gods tremble. And lurking in the shadows is a threat far greater than monsters. Something ancient. Something angry. Something coming. But let's keep things spicy. Do you think Jinwoo will become humanity's savior or its final boss? Pick your prophecy. In the last scene of this episode arc, Jinwoo steps into a gate unlike any before. Dark, silent, eerily calm. Even his shadows hesitate, and these things usually fear nothing. At the far end of the dungeon, a throne glows with ghostly blue flame. A figure sits on it. Tall, armored, eyes glowing like dying stars. As Jinwoo approaches, the figure slowly lifts its head and speaks. "You have finally arrived, my successor." And that, my friends, is how the weakest hunter became the future warlord of an unstoppable shadow army. If you enjoyed this mix of trauma, violence, sarcasm, and anime absurdity, make sure to like, subscribe, and ask yourself tonight, what would you do with a god-tier shadow army? No, you may not say take over the world. FBI is watching.